Tango and Cash was a rom-com. That's right, it's about two men who are in love, but this is very important, it's not a gay movie. But it is about two men in love. How's that possible? Here's how. Tango and Cash was a 1990s film starring Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell, and there were two rival cops in the same city, and the deal was they both kept doing wicked busts, and they were competing about the busting. Like, Tango would get like a huge bust, and he'd make the newspaper, and then Cash would get one, then he'd make the newspaper, and they'd be like, oh, well, you know, whatever that guy's... Okay, and it was just them being rival cops. It was great. I love this movie, by the way. It is the reason why me and my buddy Paul, who's my podcasting co-host of The Countdown, we became friends over this film like in 1990 motherfucking whenever. Here's why I think Tango and Cash was a rom-com. When the two cops meet each other, it's with pointing guns at each other, and they're like, and it's like totally them looking into each other's eyes and going, it's him. And it is their meet cute. Yeah. That's the meet cute in the rom-com, where there's this interesting interplay between the two characters, and they're kind of, you know, like discovering about each other and giving each other shit. And they're like, I hear you're the second best cop in town, you know, and it's like just them sniping at each other while also being in danger because they're casing like a joint, they're kind of like getting in, there's supposed to be criminals there and shit. So that's all interplay. And throughout the rest of the film, it's kind of about how they're knowing each other and getting to know each other. Again, meet cute second part where they're actually starting to become fond of each other. And then what happens? Situationally, they are forced to be together. In this case, work together, okay? Because they both get framed for this thing because fucking the guy from Ripley's Believe It or Not has framed them as the big bad boss dude of some asshole place. So what happens? They go to jail together. That's right. Man Love Central, they go to jail together. Yes, there is a shower scene, and yes, there is a drop the soap joke, but it's still not gay. It's not that kind of love. So stuff goes down in the jail, and they both get like shanghaied, and they get strung up, and they're like over like this vat of water, and they're like, which cop's gonna get electrocuted first, right? Then there's this moment where they're looking at each other and they're all messed up, and it's just like they're looking into each other's eyes and they're saying, hey, Tango, you got any family? And then Sly's like, no, I got an ex, whatever. And then they're kind of just discovering each other. And they're literally, right now, this is the moment they fall in love. Because Cash decides to go first. It's okay, Tango. It's okay. And he's like, no, Cash. Cash has already fallen in love with Tango, so much so that he knows he's going to give his life for Tango, the way a husband might jump in front of a bullet in front of his wife. It's that thing, okay? And then when Tango sees like, yo, what the hell? His dude's gonna give his life for me. That's the moment Tango falls in love with Cash, okay? And now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking to yourself, dude, it's a buddy cop movie. You're supposed to show how fond they are of each other. That's the thing. That's not what's happening here. This is love, and I'll tell you why. Once they finally get out of the jail, for some reason, they have to split up. I don't know why they would have to split up, but anyway, they all split up. And then Cash goes back into town and meets this girl that Tango said, look up this girl. She works at this, you know, she drums like and dances for no reason. I don't know what that is, right? And then Cash gets with her and says, yo, we got to do something. She's like, yeah, follow me, whatever. There's a drag scene. Okay, there's a drag scene, but it's not gay, all right? It's just, that's just part of that's the 90s. Then he ends up back at her house and it looks like he's about to bang her. And then you're thinking as an audience member in the 90s, you're like, he's trying to bang her. And it's fine, it seems great and everything, it all messes up. Tango gets in there and he's, oh my God, and you as the audience, you're thinking, oh damn, Cash is about to hit Tango's woman and it's gonna be a scene. And then it turns out there's a, you know, it's a disruption and you find out later on that the girl is Tango's sister. And Cash is like, oh, she's a sister? That's great. And we're laughing about that, but here's what's actually happening. These two men are in love with each other, but they can't have sex because neither of them is gay. And so Cash tries to fuck Tango's sister. That's right! See? She is the avatar for the physical aspect of the love they have for each other. That's right. And if you don't believe me, the rest of the film is all about, yo, did you sleep with my sister? Okay? And that would seem to be, to the initial 90s audience, that Tango is being an overprotective brother. Did you sleep with my sister? Man. And then Cash goes like, I was so drunk, I don't remember. You didn't actually sleep with her. He caught you before anything could happen, so you didn't sleep with her. Why don't you just say, I didn't sleep with her? It's the truth. And men usually don't tell the truth. So if you have the truth available and it's what you want to say, why wouldn't you say it? I'll tell you why. It's because he knew that Tango wasn't overprotective of his sister. He was jealous of his sister. His sister was getting hit on by Gabe. And even though he can't have sex with Gabe because he's not gay, he's still kind of jealous. He's like, yo, why are you trying to fuck my sister when you should be trying to fuck me? I can't fuck you because we're not gay, but I think you should still be polite enough to try and fuck me instead of my sister. That's what's going on. That's why this is a romantic comedy. It's an action romantic comedy, like, I don't know, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, or like, you know, Scott Pilgrim or something, but it is a rom-com. And I think that's why it's so good. That's why I loved it so much. And as a final ticker, at the end of the film, you gotta say that the movie ends in a very not particularly masculine way, on purpose. Here's what happens. He's like, hey, I've definitely earned the right to date your sister. All right? And then they finally, and that's the thing that's happening in the whole film, right? They're about to high five and then they stop because then Sly's like, I'm jealous of my sister. But at the end, finally they high five, and it's not a high five like this, like straight men would high five like that or like this or something. They go like that and hold hands for the first time. For the first time. And then it cuts to the still of the newspaper and they're like high-fiving and it's like, oh, look at my badge, I got my badge back, all right? Who the fuck poses like that with another policeman on a fucking front page? It's not about got their badge back, it's about we're on some level together, yeah. And that is why Tango and Cash is a romantic comedy. It is one of my favorite romantic comedies, and it's also a wicked action film. The idea that the LA Police Department would have a damn like weapons division where there's like James Bond cars that have like flamethrowers and shit and all kinds of crap coming out, that was ridiculous, but I didn't care because it was awesome. And that's kind of why I love Tango and Cash. Initially, it was a fun film that we all thought was cool, but it turns out to have so many different other meanings. I love the film. It is the wickedest, it's one of my favorite like cinematic experiences ever, even though it's an old film. But what do you think? Am I right? Am I nuts? You think I'm full of crap? Tell me down below. What do you think the movie was about? I mean, ostensibly it's a cop show and it's a buddy show, but is it really just that? Is it now? If you like this video, hit me with a like and a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.